We're gonna have to do our best to not ignore Phil over here.
Oh no, it's fine.
Hey,
Phil, what's going on?
Phil sometimes he's dragged into the conversation, so feel free to address him directly.
It's easy for me to just fade out, like, oh, y'all want to talk, and then just sit here in silence for an hour. I'll just laugh occasionally, like, that's funny fun.
I got you.
Right. Well, what's going on, everybody? We've got more people with us today. Yeah, don't fucking do that, man.
I'm just gonna lean on you.
Don't do that either. All right, well, Phillip Chase Podcast. This is episode 4. And this is the very first time we got a couple of special guests. Obviously, this is Phillip Hazen. I'm Chase Todd. And here are our 2 special guests. Would you boys like to introduce yourselves?
How you doing? My name's Kenneth Cole, whichever one you want to go with.
And I'm Nightmare. And we're a collective. We're not a group. I'm in a music group called MP with Alex out there killing shit in fucking Nashville. He's doing his thing, trying to make the dream work. But this is my guy. We've been making music since he left. So
yeah, and he's no longer it's no longer MP, right? It's he's no longer P. He's no longer Pookie.
Yeah, that's a weird. We honestly have no idea what our name was going to be. We just put NP because we had no idea what to come up with.
I always liked it. Because I mean, for those on this very YouTube channel is the music videos that I did for you guys on my YouTube channel.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And so there's a few Nightmare Pookie's Nightmare Pookie videos on the page and everything, but. Yeah. I always dug it. I always thought that you guys were very yin and yang. Like one of you were the harder, more serious one, and then he was the fucking goofy white guy.
Yeah,
you know. And
yeah,
so,
that's surprising.
Keeping that balance.
True. That's very surprising.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like I'm good with my balance because I'm goofy as fuck too. Okay. But I would want to make songs on whatever, and so we have a song called Pookie de Mayo.
Yeah. That's right.
So he made a song about Cinco de Mayo, and it was probably the most ridiculous thing that you could think of.
I don't actually think it had anything to do with Cinco de Mayo. We just released it on Cinco de Mayo and called it Pookie de Mayo.
Well, he wanted to make one
video.
He wanted to make one for every holiday.
Right, and that's where it all fell apart, and I never saw you guys ever again.
Yeah.
Pookie de Mayo was the closing chapter for us.
You gotta watch it. That was actually the song wasn't horrible.
No, I had a blast doing the video.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. The sombrero and everything. Y'all a shot.
Yeah. And they had the GoPro on the bottles, and that was fun though. We were dancing. It was a great time. I forgot about that. So
we've known each other for a long time. We met in 2012.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a minute, man.
Yeah, man. Holy shit.
I always try to when I'm trying to explain you to people, or like if I'm looking at your Snapchat or Facebook or something, I'll get to laughing, and like I have to go into so much fucking explanation to people as to why I think it's funny, because I'll show shit to people and they're like, this guy's a psychopath. They're like, this guy is absolutely nuts, and I'm like, he's hilarious. Like, you got to know this guy to understand that half the shit he says is just the most off the wall, like, absurd shit that he can think of. I'm constantly laughing at your Snapchat, dude. Like, it's just the dumbest shit all the time.
Absolutely, it's the same with me. I'll be sitting up there just laughing out of nowhere, and people will see this shit, and they're like, "You think that's funny? Like, that's not okay." And I'm like, "No, I promise, he's the nicest guy." You're like,
right. You're talking about beating women, handling Satan, and all this shit, and it's just like, nah, he's great. I bring him home to the family.
Right.
My favorite one lately is the Martin Luther King one.
Yes, you've been on this thing. I haven't shown you it. Or maybe I did. Did I show you as Martin Luther King Snapchat?
I don't think so.
So wait, no, it wasn't even, I didn't even come up with the character. It was, I was just scrolling through the faces, and the one it looked like Martin Luther King. So like it has a great background, the fucking old school suit that looks like shit, really, and the Martin Luther King, like they made that for him. So I just took advantage of it.
You got to roll with it.
It's funny. I mean, like honestly. Think about like if you are having a shitty day and you're just kind of bored, and there's some weird fucking dude that you know that like posts like shit that just is like you wouldn't expect it.
I don't have to imagine it. I experienced it.
Yeah. Well, hey, I'm happy that I can do that.
You know, it's the one. If anything's going to convince me to get back on social media, it's probably all your shit.
Hey, I appreciate that, man.
There you go. Nightmare for your entertainment.
Nightmare.
Yeah.
Fuck all the women trying to get you to get back on social media.
Yeah, no. Every girlfriend that's tried to convince me, I've told them no. You're the only
It
one.
ain't worth it.
You know?
I think I might be the girl for you.
I think so.
I'm happy, man. I'm happy.
But
Wait, no, funny you said I'm actually off Facebook right now.
oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's probably for the better.
Yeah, I was
For a lot
on
of
there too
people.
much. I was on there way too
You
much.
get thrown in Facebook jail quite a bit, don't you?
Yeah, all the time. Actually, the last time I was in Facebook jail, I don't know.
9/11?
No, it wasn't for those.
No. So ain't that
The 9/11 memes didn't do it. Well, it
Oh,
was.
really? Wow.
I actually don't know. Somebody reported something I said, and I don't know what it was. It couldn't have been that bad,
Could have
but
been anything. It could have been
relative
anything.
to everything I say normally.
People just get offended easily.
Yeah,
Also that.
weird shit.
That's true.
So we are currently what seven days into Woovember. All things Wu-Tang and wellness here at PCP. So I mean, first and foremost, let's deal with the Wu-Tang side of things. It sounded like you had some things to say about the Wu-Tang earlier when I brought it up.
Me?
Yeah, unless you just it made you think of something else.
No, I thought it was funny because
Well, you're not a big fan of old school rap anyway.
I was just about to say that. Okay, well, it's not that I'm not a big fan of old school things. Now, there are certain songs that I remember, like my brother played Cream.
Mm-hmm.
So that song actually is playing in my head right now. That's a classic.
Right, it's usually the go-to.
I really don't know. Funny thing, and people, like, somebody further down the line is going to find this, because, you know, when y'all blow up, they're going to be like, what, the first episodes or whatever? They're going to say this guy's an asshole, I don't want to hear his music, because, like, you usually build off of existing material. Like, that's just, like, these people influenced me to be who I am, and they didn't. Like, old school rappers did not, Biggie, Tupac, all of them, they didn't inspire me to rap.
Which is crazy because, so I still have your A Renegade shit.
Yeah, okay.
And I was always a fan back then too. I always thought you and Gabby and everybody was really good on that. And my favorite tracks on there were all the ones that were set to old school beats. Any of the 90s beats and stuff, like you guys sounded so much better on those than you did like the Drake, Lil Wayne type beats. Although I will say, I love the Divine Disease.
And that was a good one too.
That's another one of those that plenty of people get offended by. I can never be like, hey man, you want to listen to this song and not get like an intense reaction.
Well, why are people so mad? What did I say on that?
You just talk about burning Bibles and shit for like 2 minutes over a Drake beat. Like,
no, how did I start? Let the church say amen. I always thought I was the one. That's a win, right? I just want to be like clever about it, and also talk about how disease, religion is kind of like a disease.
I think we just won the Christian audience back. So.
You know, and the funny thing is, like all my tattoos and whatnot that are anti-religious, they start conversations. Like nobody ever comes up like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" They always like it always starts a conversation.
Right.
So,
well, I was talking to Phil about your Satanism.
yeah.
And
By the way, in case nobody knew, in case nobody could see it, there we go. And what you saying?
This episode is sponsored by the Dark Lord.
Hell.
I was telling we ran out of time, but I was going to watch that documentary that just came out, that Hail Satan question mark, to have more of a conversation with you on Satanism, but I didn't make it that far.
Me either.
This was pretty short notice.
Yeah,
so.
I didn't.
So Satanism we'll save for another day. That's
Okay.
another episode.
That'd
we'll
be
have
cool.
you back.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Ken, what about you? You a Wu-Tang fan?
Honestly, I'm kind of along the lines of Jonathan with that. Like, I was never inspired by old school rap. It just really didn't do it for me, if I'm being honest. Like, I would like a lot of the sounds. I think a lot of people, they had, a lot of swagger to them. But I think a big part of it was, and I know whenever this gets out, people hear this, I'm going to be burned at the stake. But I just think that a lot of the hype behind it was because, it was at the time it's revolutionary. They're bringing about a new movement. That's what's starting rap. That's big. I mean, you're going back into the 80s and all that early 90s stuff. That's really what's pushing it into the forefront. And so that's why they're remembered like that. And that's not to say that they were trash or anything, but I just feel like a lot of lyricists today are better.
Well, like, one of my favorite jokes, Donald Glover in a stand-up is talking about like old school rap, and he's like, the lyrics are always like, I went down to the hat store and I bought myself a hat. And it's like,
right.
Yeah, like he's not wrong. Like that's usually what it is. Like, but I don't know. We've been listening to a lot of '90s rap lately, getting just kind of delving more into it, even outside of the Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. There are definitely like some who even back then were ahead of their time.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, especially even if you're alongside the Wu-Tang Clan. I didn't listen to him much, but I know RZA was dope as hell.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's not like all of them.
See, and I will say that about the Wu-Tang Clan is their lyrics are great. Like they are great lyricists. Because I mean, with that Donald Glover joke, I mean that I don't think applies to all of them. Like
that's
my
more
thing
like
with 90s
Curtis
music,
Blow,
right? Yeah. I with '90s music, it's more like the beats for me. I mean, the actual music of it, I mean, it just hooks me. But there are definitely some pretty good lyricists, especially the members of the Wu-Tang Clan, I think. So I guess the better question is, what does inspire you guys?
I was going to ask that.
Oh shit! Sorry, we can
Phillip.
Phil.
I got a question.
I want Phil to ask me.
So what would you say y'all's music inspiration is then? If it's not old, then newer.
I mean, definitely the newer stuff. Like when I first really learned I had like this love and passion for music, it was Lil Wayne that did it to me. Like, and it was just the cleverness, the straight bravado of everything, just off the wall lyrics, like stuff that you really have to sit and rewind and catch, and you can listen to a song 20 times and still catch new meaning behind stuff. And it's like, oh man, like that's the stuff that like really got me hooked, that I'm like, I just want to hear more. I want to hear more of what he can say, because especially people like Lil Wayne, like when they can take the most mundane things and turn it into something great, and that's what I always love, and that's what separates. Like you were saying, in the one that's like that Donald Glover joke, like they can take a normal rhyme like that. If Lil Wayne said, "I'm going to get a hat," he gonna say it in a way like something crazy, like something to cover my head, keep my ears warm. You know, he didn't gonna say I'm getting a hat. It's just it's crazy ways to say it. It's like I don't even know how your brain goes to that.
What about you?
You know, what inspires me, it could be like, it inspires me to just make music.
Yeah, just inspirations in general. I guess it doesn't even have to be other music, I suppose. Although I think his question was the music.
Specifically keeping it on track with that.
No, good point. I'm inspired by several different genres of music to make music. Of course, like we do hip hop.
Right.
So, but you might hear a song, like we have another song that we're going to make that's more like EDM, but we're going to make a good EDM song that has good hip hop, not just, oh, we made an EDM song, you know what I mean? Like, it just depends, it's whatever moves me at the time. So it's not, I don't have any specific rapper, again, who inspired me. And it kind of like backpedal a little bit. Like, I like Mobb Deep, Ludacris. I remember I heard Southern Hospitality, and it was that weird thing, like when they're at the Grammys or some other thing where they're like, how did this person become famous? Like, fame is cool, you really want the money, but out of all these people, how did they get there? And now we're actually on our way. And so like I remember when I was a kid, I said I want to be famous, but what I really meant was I wanted to find a way to express myself, because I didn't have any guidance like really growing up, so I really didn't know what direction life would take me. So, but music was always something that I loved. So, you know, if it's whatever, it's no one genre, no one artist. It's just what moves me.
Yeah,
I mean, it makes sense too, because I mean, everyone listens to a lot of different genres. Most people don't just listen to one specific group, even if it is their favorite. They still have other genres and songs that they like.
That's true.
Go through different phases.
I've come to learn recently, like in getting like just dedicating so much time to specifically listening to 90s rap and everything. I realize now that if somebody asks me what my favorite genre of music is, usually my go-to is indie alternative kind of music. But it's rap. Like it's definitely rap. I always go back to rap music because it's always and not just old school stuff, but like tons of new school people that I mean I can't get enough of Kendrick Lamar. Every time he releases something, I'm on top of it. I mean the fact that last year Marvel and Kendrick Lamar came together, like those are two of my favorite things in the whole fucking world. to live in such a time is great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's certain types of rap that I definitely can't get into, like some of the newer stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know, you know, but you can say that about any type of music too.
That's true.
And even when I say that I only listen to hip hop, which you know is the case, that doesn't mean that I can't like enjoy other types of genres. It's just, you know, I'm not going to check for it. If I'm driving and I'm flipping through the radio stations and, you know, a pop song comes on, I can bob my head to it.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not going to download it on my phone, but you know, I know that's cool.
Well, and a lot of the old school stuff was, you know, I mean, a lot of those guys, they weren't just listening to hip hop music. I mean, they were having to get these samples from elsewhere. They were listening to other shit.
That's a good point.
I mean, RZA talks a lot about it. They touch on it in the TV show.
Yeah, they're always digging through those vinyls. You know, you have to be able to appreciate other art forms. To, you know, because there's inspiration behind it all, and that's what, even with some of the newer stuff, like you were saying, like I don't like a lot of it, but at some point I had to sit down and ask myself, like, okay, well, there's still an audience for it.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
they've made something out of it, so I need to sit down instead of saying it's trash or not for me, whatever, and see what can I take away from it. What is it that everybody else is hearing? Because, you know, millions of people are showing up to your shows and buying records. You're doing something
right. Exactly. Yeah, we were talking about it either the last episode or the episode before that. I always make a point to not say that something is bad. I always just say it's not for me. You know, because I can appreciate it, especially like with
That's fair.
music. You know, I'm more on the film side of things. You know, but working with you guys and living in Tennessee for a while, I mean, being surrounded by so many musicians gave me a whole new appreciation. You know, I love working in the music scene.
Yeah.
I've lost my train of thought. This happens a lot on the show too.
No, I mean that makes sense. What you were saying? What you're getting into?
You guys do, you know, or are more musicians. We don't really dabble in music like that, I guess. We're more on the like comedy side of things. I guess I don't even think I'd consider us comedians though. We're storytellers. I mean, Phil and I have loved stories in every way, shape, and form we can get it. You know, for our whole lives. And so with the same thing with like we can get inspiration from anywhere. You know, with how we do things with our film, with our comedy. I mean, we can. There's inspiration everywhere. You can get it from any type of genre. You know.
Yes, sir.
But I've been reading the RZA's book, The Tao of Wu, and as storytellers and people who appreciate stories, I love a good come up story. I love seeing that progression, and his book kind of talks about where they all started as the Wu-Tang Clan. The show touches on it. I mean, that's what the whole fucking show's about. But it's cool to see where these people come from and how they kind of like progress through life and I feel like we're kind of on that same point as well. You know, you get knocked down enough times, you're either going to learn a lesson from it or you're going to let it consume you.
That's so true, man. That's so true.
I'm curious, so am I saying this right? Wu-Timber?
Wu-Vember.
There we go. So where did the love for the Wu-Tang come from for you guys?
Well, we kind of touched on this in the last episode. We have always liked the Wu-Tang Clan. We've always listened. We've bumped 36 Chambers for fucking over.
Sounds like freshman year of high school, really.
Yeah.
How'd your parents feel about that?
They didn't care.
Oh,
they didn't care.
You know, like, hey Chase, what the hell is that you listen to?
I get that a lot. I listen to a lot of different shit. I still get that to this day. As somebody who likes artsy movies and shit. Coming from a small town, you're just in a family who's always like, what the fuck are you watching?
Yeah.
Right.
The fuck is this music?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of the house, man. What the fuck were we talking about?
We were talking about why we love Wu-Tang.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. And Wu-Vember happened because we started up this podcast at the end of October. We were rolling into November, and we had just watched the Wu-Tang show that came out on Hulu. Kind of sparked it, and actually before that, like 2 months ago, I put in 36 Chambers in my car, and literally just listened to it on repeat for 2 months straight. I had nothing else playing in that car for like 2 months straight, and then show came out. We watched the show, and it's like, you know what? Let's just we started talking about the self-betterment and everything, getting into Buddhism, stuff like that, and we're like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just do the whole month.
This is the
Wu-Vember. Yeah.
And then since I didn't answer your question about like Wu-Tang for me. I used to listen to like a lot of rock and stuff like in my junior high and growing up because that's what my parents listened to. Like I didn't really have like my own music. I would just have like my dad would just play music and he listened to a lot of 80s rock and stuff. And so once like I had a buddy who showed me Wu-Tang Clan, and that's when it was just that's all it took. After that, I was like, damn,
whole new world.
And then because then I got into like NWA and like The Chronic and like all that kind of stuff. So that was 90s hip hop was kind of the start for me. Biggie, also Biggie Smalls.
See, I could never get into 90s hip hop like that. I like it, and there's certain songs that I really like, but for the most part, this just never moved me like that.
I don't know if it's because of like being born in the 90s. I felt obligated to listen to like what was around my time because I feel like that.
I mean, I think for me it was just like you start really connecting to it like the first time, like you can actually remember and really know what they're saying. So like even though born in the 90s and everything, I was born in 93, so all that shit's going on.
Yeah.
I'm either not alive for half of it or what I am alive for. I don't know what's going on.
Right.
We don't really start remembering too much until like the end of the 90s anyway. It's not like 98 and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I dropped this on the last episode, but in the RZA's book, he's talking about I'm gonna fuck it up again. It's something. The truth bears no fruit if it's out of season, is what it was. And so it's like there's always a time and a place for knowledge. Like we were listening to Wu-Tang over a decade ago, and we're just like I'm to a point now where I can appreciate Wu-Tang outside of the 36 chamber. Like I tried listening to their other music before, and I just could not get into it as much as I can now because I just have a deeper appreciation for it. Sometimes you're just meant to know something at a later time.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. That's a good point because like when I was in high school, I mean, I still listen to heavy metal, but I remember I was in high school and I was listening. I had just discovered Slipknot, and that self-titled album came out in '99. I didn't know that. I thought it just came out, so I was like, "Oh fuck!" And it was like revolutionary for me. And
the kid that ran up, "Hey man, did y'all hear this?"
I loved it. I loved that. I remember I still do this to this day. Well, I haven't bought a CD in years, but I would get the CD so I can not only support the artist, but so I can like have the booklet because it has all the stuff, all the photos, and you at the time you couldn't really see it online. So
mine was the lyrics. The lyrics were
the lyrics too. Yeah, they were in there too, and it was just special. And now when I listen to their self-titled album, I can appreciate it even more. So it's like rediscovering it and still having that feeling all over again. I think it's like super cool.
Right. It's the same thing kind of like with watching movies, like cause sometimes I'll watch a movie like, oh, that was good, and then like I'll watch it later, like, oh shit, they were really talking about some stuff that I wasn't even understanding.
No, that's a good point. And we were talking about the Joker earlier, the Joker movie, and I think I only seen it through and through one time, but I definitely want to. Because there's all sorts of Easter eggs I missed.
Right. Well, like I said, I was just having a 2-hour-long panic attack. I was going to be in the one that got shot up. Yeah. One sketchy-ass dude just walking up the aisles. I'm just like, what the fuck is this guy doing? He was there to protect us, apparently. He did not do a good job. But
I heard real quick, I heard the movie was bad.
No.
Who told you that?
No, it wasn't bad.
Probably a big Joker fan. But, no, it's good, but I need to rewatch it, too.
What was I going to say? I was going to bounce off of what you just said. Working at where I work now, I didn't realize, like, that's a valid fear that you have. Like, a lot of people, in relative to the United States,
getting shot.
Motherfuckers coming in just shooting shit up. Even though school shootings and all sorts of shit, and white folks is wilding out there. But, working where I work, that can happen often. Like, there's been a lot of people who come in, and I can't get into specifics, obviously, but people come in because they want to shoot their school up. And somebody took it serious enough to, like, get them the fuck somewhere, And
that's good, because sometimes it's always the other case where people aren't taking it seriously.
Yeah. And some people don't belong in there. They just said the wrong thing.
Right, yeah.
If you didn't know me and you look at my Snap.
Right, they'd have you locked the fuck up at the highest tower.
For sure. So, like, I like have an appreciation for...
psychopaths. No, just
crazy motherfuckers. But that's a valid fear. Somebody like I don't go to I do not go to when a movie comes out. Like the Joker, I could not wait. I remember I found out about that like last year, and I was super excited. And I can't go opening weekend.
Man, it never even crossed my mind. It never even crossed my mind until the media started blasting all that shit about the Dark Knight shooting, and now everybody's worried about the
I
thing.
never even thought of that.
I did the same thing when Black Panther came out. I am a huge Marvel fan. I was so stoked for Black Panther.
Yeah.
I was on my way to that theater, and I scared the shit out of myself. And I turned back because it wasn't even like because the thing is with movie theater shooters, it's white people. For sure, and so especially with Black Panther, I was just like,
somebody's gonna shoot that shit.
I was in Danville,
Illinois.
I never even thought about that.
Oh yeah, I was in Danville, Illinois, and all these fucking white people were getting upset about Black Panther, and I'm just like,
I weirdest fucking
maybe
Maybe
you know
upset about that. I didn't know it was a thing.
Well, they were saying like with Joker, they were saying that it was making straight single white men uncomfortable or some shit.
Good.
I'm like saying it wrong, but it was like worse than that. Like it's making them. Like, where are all these white people that really feel that? I think people are mad because somebody else is upset. So somebody else says something and then they get upset. But like,
yeah, I feel that way too.
Any white dude I ran into was like, Black Panther was fucking awesome. Like, they wanted to see it too. I'm like, where are all these racist white people at?
Yeah, right.
Like
on the internet.
Well, that's the problem because they're online. Nobody is really being who they are when it matters in person. So if there's another white guy that came from upstairs, it was like, you niggas are too loud, I can respect that overt racism.
Right.
Be like, okay, this is how it feels. But if he's like, hey, he's being passive aggressive about it.
Who was dumb enough to just walk out?
Exactly.
Like, hey,
when are we going to get to the point where we can address racism? Nobody's ever going to feel, racism isn't going to be here as long as motherfuckers lie. Like, why is everybody lying about how they feel? You don't like Black Panther because you don't want niggas.
I don't need it to be overt.
I want it to be overt. I can respect. That's why you go to the South. It's like tradition. It's like, nigga, this is what I'm gonna do to you, and you better hope I don't do this.
You say it's tradition.
Yeah.
He says it
it's like
racism passed down.
And it's like y'all don't like me, y'all don't want me.
Like,
somebody.
So your advice is just don't go to the South.
Okay, let me show you racism. Okay, first off, I went to the South and they fucking loved me. Everybody said be well. Everybody was great. But I'm sure if I ran into somebody who's racist, they'd be like, you know,
I'm like, you just gotta go to the right town.
Well, I went here in town. I went to go see because my car was doing something crazy, and I went to this shop on Cunningham. And I went there, and I'm like, yeah, something's going on with my car. They said I had a cracked manifold, and I needed a tune-up. So I was like, how much can a tune-up be? You know, it can't be that much.
Right, yeah.
They said it was going to be like almost $400 for a tune-up. And then this is after I saw one of the mechanics come out and he had a swastika on his arm. So I was like, okay.
Nice. Okay.
But they were super nice to me. That's passive aggressive. They were basically saying, get out of the shop, nigga. With their price.
With their price.
And then I went to Greg's Truck and Auto on North Mattis where a tune-up was like $120. You know, so.
Well, I'll remember that. That's what's
I'll only go to
the next time they give me a
sponsor us. Sponsor us. I only go to him anyway. But so when you go to the South, like it's just like, you know, yeah, nigga. So here it's just different, and we're never gonna. Motherfuckers are still gonna be. White people are upset because they can't get no pussy, and they, you know, motherfuckers is racist, and they're not really airing. I'm not saying all white people can't get no pussy. You know what I'm saying? But it's like they, and they're shooting up theaters because they're upset. They're shooting up schools because they're upset. Because motherfuckers don't express themselves. So with music, it's self-expression. With martial arts that I do, it's self-expression. And I realize, like, the effects of bottling up the way you feel. If you got something to say, your bitch is, like, pissing you off, and you're not, you know, correcting her behavior, and she's looking to you for guidance anyway. And eventually you like, well, bitch, get the fuck out. You know, and you just fly off the handle. It's like, why didn't you just say you didn't like the bitch was she can't cook? You know what? Isn't that the stereotypical thing? She's supposed to. She cooks, and the bitch can't cook, and then you honey,
3 months of shitty meals. And
yeah,
like, why the fuck
and it's like, well, I love her, so I'm gonna encourage her to be better, and because I don't want to hurt her feelings. And it's like, well, nigga, you suffering.
Yeah,
you're doing the wrong thing.
Just so y'all know, he says I'm the mean one.
This motherfucker is the mean. Don't worry, you'll see why he's a fucking asshole. But we're both assholes.
So
we're all 4 assholes.
Perfect. Let's name the podcast.
4 assholes.
4 assholes.
Yeah.
That'll
No,
no,
get a whole
I thought you got a whole different demographic.
Oh yeah, That was not on the list. But I'm trying to spin off of that. You just threw so much at me at once.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
But so here's how I'm going to do it. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
I'm going to bring it back.
I'm ready.
Oh, shit. Okay, so... oh, I lost
He
it.
lost
See,
it.
he knew it was coming to you.
What you want to talk about?
So,
You wanna talk
I have something to say. Since
Phil
you
doesn't
can't
say
think
something
of
awful.
anything. Because what you're saying about the racism thing, like, because not a lot of people know I'm Hispanic. I feel like they always think I'm Italian. And so, like, because I lived in the South for a little bit too, we both did. And it's always weird hearing people say, like, racist shit about your ethnicity when they don't realize you're Hispanic. Because I had some people like, oh, like, Beaner. I was like, excuse me?
Yeah.
They're like, what? I'm like, well, I am Hispanic, so that is offensive. like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, what? You're sorry now that I called you out of that. Like, you weren't sorry 2 seconds ago when you said it.
Yeah.
So it's just like...
When they know it, they're not going to say it.
Right.
You know? They're not going to be overt with it. But like I said, I really don't have a problem with that.
I don't either. I think
Like,
you should.
no, I'm saying I don't have a
said.
problem with somebody holding it in. I'm saying I don't care if somebody racist. I don't
You just
care.
don't want to hear about it.
I don't,
Yeah.
I wouldn't even like. You can even make it known, I guess. But like, whether you make it known or not, I really don't care.
Just write that shit in a
Because I'm the type. As long as you don't start no shit with me, everybody's entitled to their opinions. I really don't care. Your opinion don't mean shit to me. So hey, hate whoever you want to hate. I don't care.
We were talking about this the other day. I mean, racism is just one of those things that, like, let's just be realistic. We're not going to get rid of it unless everybody gets on board.
We can get rid of racism.
This is stupid. Like,
We can get rid of racism. We're not going to get rid of prejudice.
well, let's hear Nightmare's plan on getting rid of racism.
No, I mean, racism is a system that's based on power.
Well,
so
yeah.
who has power in the country right now?
I'm starting.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Wait, you know what? Fuck that. We're shutting that down.
I'm just
'Cause
saying.
you will. You'll
No, that was
run
it. That was it. That was it.
Okay, all right.
We prejudge each other. The second we see somebody saw me, and so I get prejudged by a lot of girls. They think I'm gay when they first meet me because like my hair is usually done. I'm usually dressed pretty nice.
This is the first I've heard of it. Oh, well, it's probably, come to think of it, you come on to me often.
I come on to guys all the time. So like it's only natural for them to think that I'm gay. So
if anybody saw as many text messages as I received from you that just says like "Hey baby" or something like that, like,
Yeah,
it's just like, I see it.
I call everybody baby. I'm sorry.
It
But you know.
happened.
I've experienced over the past few days a few moments of just like glaring whiteness in my life. I'm just like, oh shit, that's right. I am incredibly white. Like, it's just like that's the thing.
You can't help it.
I was reading that book. I was reading the RZA book, and here I am afraid of like, leaving my house and getting shot. Where it's like, okay, well, this is just new for me. Like this isn't new for anybody else.
It's called casting.
I was reading fucking that book, and he's talking about his day-to-day life. And it's just like, well, he grew up this way. I don't experience that shit. That's that's on me.
No, that's the craziest thing is like
DNA.
somebody told me not to say the N-word, and I said, "You don't fuck." Like, well, I kind of usually I'm funny about it, but I think I've been drinking, so I was kind of a dick about it. And I was like, "You think I'm gonna let you white folks have all the? I get called a nigger my whole life. I can't say nigger. I'm just saying as much as I want, and what they gonna do about it?
Right.
We can fight, but that's gonna be bad on their behalf. So
and here's how I'm gonna segue this. So my other moment of unbearable whiteness was so we hit the Canopy Club Monday night in our strive for wellness, and we watched the 36 Chambers of Shaolin.
How does going out hitting the Canopy Club relate to wellness?
It's coming around.
It's coming around.
Okay.
So we watched 36 Chambers of Shaolin. If you haven't seen it, I'd recommend it.
Okay.
I got the third degree about it at the Canopy Club that night, but this monk, he takes on every chamber one at a time. The head chamber, the arm chamber, like every single one, making themselves stronger and stronger. So we are breaking our shit down into chambers, trying to master these chambers as we go.
Okay.
The Canopy Club is the comedy chamber. We are trying to get out there. We are trying to get the stand-up working and everything. And it wasn't pretty. I'll tell you that much. Because I had a plan, fucking abandoned it as soon as I hit the stage.
That's how it usually goes.
Seemed like a good idea at the time.
Yeah.
So now here I am ranting about Wu-Tang and wellness and basically just doing an 8-minute plug for our shit. And it's like they knew I was coming, because here I am talking about kung fu movies and hip hop music, And in a sea of white people, the one black person, the one Chinese person are right in the front row.
Of course.
And now I'm asking them questions about hip hop music and kung fu movies. And the dude was like, well, I'm from China, and like those kung fu movies are pretty Americanized and everything. And I'm just like, what was it? That was my time. I'm gonna get the fuck out of this place.
Let me ask a black guy about poverty. Right?
It's pretty much how my set was going. So
What the guy
hopefully this Monday.
What the other guy's like, nigga, I'm Filipino. Like, you assume I'm
I'm
fucking
gonna just keep
Japanese?
going and be like, fuck this, I'm never coming back.
I'm
never
Native
gonna stay.
American.
Just go down the line, just start asking everyone about their own
Anybody, can everybody write down their ethnicity?
Any Jews in here?
Just so I know who to avoid, who to talk to.
I should direct my questions.
You would ask Jews
Just
about
have a
So
whole
the whole
list.
You're Jewish. You seen Jojo Rabbit yet?
That's classic.
It's all right. Next Monday should go better.
Hey, no, that's good that you want to still do that. That's a fast fucking
Well,
awesome.
we have to. You know, we got to bomb and we got to go back. We got to do it again. We got to, and that's the
Man.
whole idea. Is of these chambers, we got to keep pushing ourselves to do better. And I know that.
That's an idea.
Kenny, I don't know about you, but I know this guy here. He hits that gym. You box.
I
you,
bombed on stage too. Here, I got a piss. Why is it this and that? I got a piss.
He does. You
I
should
did,
see
I
it.
did.
I told the camera.
Be right back.
I'll just be on myself.
Maybe that's why episode 1 gets so many views, because we're always telling people to refer back to it. We're always telling people to watch episode 1
There's
again.
a lot of callbacks to it. So.
But I have to get back in my wellness. You know, I've got to get back on track with things. It was at its peak some years ago, maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, and that's when I was really like hitting the gym every day. You know, trying to go twice a day if I could. Really trying to watch what I eat. Actually, I watch what I eat more now because my metabolism has slowed the fuck down.
Right.
But I gotta get back consistently. I just had a kid, so that's making it tough.
Yeah, that's a topic of limit right there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and when we talk about wellness, we're not even talking about specifically physical wellness either. We're talking about wellness across the board. Mental, financial, you know, whatever. Spiritual. I mean, we've been
Man, I
trying
can
to
hit in so many aspects.
It's a
I
very
will
broad
say
thing.
my
I'm
biggest.
gonna, since you went, I was just gonna try to hold it, but I'm like, nah.
No, man. We right at home, baby.
Running with wellness, as far as I would say, my mental wellness was actually like really when I decided that I was going to commit to the music full time, and because it just came to a point like, you know, you go so many years and you work these jobs, you know, you try different things, you go to school and all this stuff, and then even jobs that I was like things that I like, you know, when I got my real estate license, I was doing that for a little bit. You know, joined the union, started doing carpentry. You know, I was like, all right, well, I want to make my own business, you know, flipping in houses and everything. And so I'm in the midst of starting all that up. And it's like, I like it. But then when I sat and I asked myself, if I could be doing anything, would this be it? And I was like, in a perfect world, no. Like, I like this, but I don't love it. And even with that being said, I still have to, I'm on somebody else's time. I'm on somebody else's schedule. I'm being told what to do by somebody. I have to hold my tongue to somebody. And after a while, I would realize that was taking a strain on me mentally. Like, I would be pissed off all the time. Like, because you just going to work, like, knowing you got to deal with some bullshit. And you can't say nothing. You know, you want to go out, maybe have a good time one night. And it's like, I can't even do it because I have to go to sleep early to get up early to do some more shit that I don't want to do. And after a while, you just realize, like, I was just like, I just don't feel like this is what life is supposed to be about. You know, it's not supposed to be revolving around this work in order so that you can live. You should be making your life revolve around your own happiness. So if you're not doing whatever you want to do to, you know, make that happiness come about, then you're only failing yourself.
Yeah.
So then I was like, fuck it, I'm about to go. Just like that, I quit my job just like that. I was like, I'm just about to dedicate all my time to music. Luckily, shout out to my girl for being supportive of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You had 2 jobs too.
Yeah, I had 2 jobs. I was like, fuck it, like, I'm not happy. Like, and since then, like, literally, like, I'm just happy all the time. Like, I just feel like I have no complaints every day. Even, I mean, it's not even where I want it to be yet right now. You know, we're making strides. You know, we're on the come up. But, like, even now, just, like, every day, it's just so happy that that's my focus, doing what I love. It's like whether I'm looking for beats, whether I'm writing, in the studio recording, like those are the things that I love and bring joy about my day. I don't have to worry about dealing with no people, talking about some bullshit, you know.
Well, you're pretty much your own boss at that point.
Exactly,
You
yeah.
just set your own schedule, you do whatever you want.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
I know with all the creative stuff and everything that I've wanted to do in life, I know that like I could say that my biggest pursuit in life is happiness, like just to be happy and to maintain like that level. Because even like I've gotten to a point now since getting into Buddhism and all that stuff, like where I am genuinely happy, even when I'm fucked up, just sad, emotional, depressed, what have you. There's still happiness there, you know?
Right.
Like, but that's awesome. I mean, I wish I could do that. I mean, for sure. I mean that's what
you
we're trying
definitely
to
have to, like I said, have to have a good support system, be in the position to do so. But I mean, at the end of the day, it was just like, because it took me so long. Like I've only been rapping for a year now,
Right.
and it took me so long to get started because it was always just like not seeing it as a realistic thing because it's never painted out that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody, you're growing up, it's like, oh, you can be whatever you want to be. You can,
Right.
but nobody really pushes you to
Right,
do
yeah,
those
yeah.
outlandish things. Your parents are like, oh, you can do whatever you want to be, but it's like, oh yeah, I want to be a rapper. Nobody's watching. Well, come on, let's go out and get you the studio equipment.
Yeah.
You know, like rarely does that happen. And so after a while, like that just kind of ingrained in you, like, oh well, you have to live this regular mundane life.
Yeah.
But then it was just like I started, like looking at these people in these positions, and there's one common trend for anybody with success, really, and maybe more so in the entertainment business. Like whether you want to look at musicians, comedians, actors, if you look at any of their stories, a lot of them like, man, I was broke as fuck. I was living on my parents' couch. I was living on my friend's couch. But I was going for this full time. I knew that this is what I wanted to do. And
Sometimes it's not an investment of money, but an investment of time. Like, what are you doing with that time?
Absolutely.
You know, and
exactly.
He and I we're kind of talking about this earlier. That's the mindset that we're trying to get into. You know,
Right.
because you see, I had written down a little note to myself. I was listening to some music, and I realized, like, being a performer, you got to have that level of courage. You got to, because like I listen to music and get embarrassed by it. Like if somebody's like, "What the fuck is this guy listening to?" But to be that musician, like doing that, if you want to be Kanye, fucking screaming and shrieking, and then make a gospel, and just do all sorts of. I mean, you got to understand that you're gonna be judged, like absolutely, and you got to not fear that. And I know that's a big hang up for me. And
you gotta shoot yourself in the face with I don't give a fuck gun.
And I mean, you're sitting here saying
Just
how
stop giving a fuck.
people aren't gonna, my whole life, I've got family and friends who are like very supportive of the film career and everything. I mean, my parents got me a camera. They've done what they can in terms of supporting that. But there's this level of like, yeah, sure. Like it's not actually gonna happen. And we're realizing now that it's to a point where all of these people who love and support us, that's all they can do. They can love and support us, but they're not going to be able to take us any farther because they're all like, oh, well, I think you should do this. And I should, they keep telling us, whereas like, we know what works. We're fans, we're fans of entertainment. So we know what works. So we got to start doing that and not try to appease like our small base we already have,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I know that you push yourself like a motherfucker.
Yeah, I like what you said though. I was thinking about something what you were saying, and then I'm gonna jump right back. That you could be anything you want to be, and I was like, man, you could be anything that you want to be, unless it's something that somebody doesn't want you to do.
Right.
So, and that's like the weirdest thing about like society and whatnot. But yeah, I push myself like a motherfucker because, it just super quick because I can fucking rant. I remember I was never pushed in school ever, never. I was never pushed to do anything. I was never taught anything. And it's not the woe is me, but I just wasn't, that's what it is, done. And I remember when I went to college, I went to Parkland for a second. And the fact that I got admitted meant that I was smart. I never thought I was smart, ever.
Are you going to get your PhD?
I'm in a PhD program.
What the fuck? I just learned that. I saw it the other day and about hit you up and been like, wait, how long has this been going on?
My nigga.
I had no idea.
I'm in my third term of my master's program right now, of the master's portion. And so, like, I'm, there was nobody got an invitation to come to see me graduate. My cousins, I love my cousins, Junior, Terry, Tabitha, Toya, Tiffany, all of them, like they really support me and they show love. They really been there for me too. It was like really last minute, but like nobody got invited because I was only inviting people who supported me. So the push that you see, I realized like, well, not only that, man, like Alex. So Alex went to Nashville, and I remember how sad I was when he left, and I realized I had an attachment thing. Like, I want us to make it. And we are gonna make it, but it's like
because he's a very motivated guy as well.
Yeah, he is, but I want him here with me, and I think that comes from the trauma, people leaving in my life. So I'm very.
I felt the same way when Alex left, and you guys weren't in contact with me anymore, and I was just like,
I'm sorry.
There goes everything.
And then I found out this motherfucker lives down the street from me in Savoy. So
is this where you're living now? Or are you living?
No, I live in Urbana, but that's still like down the street.
It's close enough.
Yeah. So as far as motivation, who's gonna fucking motivate you? If you want anything, you have to be the one to go and get it. Life is very lonely. Sure, a bitch can get in the bed with you, but that's your room. That's your shower. When you wake up, you are alone. And I there was one day, and it was like around the time Alex left, that I realized like I was, I have a shit ton of relationship issues, and shit is just going bad. And then like my own family don't fuck with me like that. My cousins do. That's it. And I'm glad he's got his thing where he can quit. I don't have that, man. I don't have nobody who's going, if I don't get it, I don't got it.
Well, that's why I just joined the union back in May. And that's why. Because I had to start pushing myself to make some changes. And I knew that was going to be one. Because I know a big thing for me was my financial situation. I realized like I'm never going to be able to do the things I want to do if I can't. Nobody's going to do it for me. Nobody's going to buy me the equipment I need or anything like that. Like I'm gonna have to do it myself.
Yeah,
for sure.
And don't get me wrong, I'm still eating shit right now. Like I got my degree, my bachelor's and whatnot. I'm in a better place in life all around.
Well, and I think you always will. I think everybody always will.
Well,
I mean, it's just what you do.
Like financially, like coming in here and seeing your thing. I remember you struggled, and I remember like your story too. Like when we were at Grand Studio, and now you got your own thing, and it's dope as fuck. I'm happy for you. Well, I'm living life chronologically, so right now, we were talking about this the other day, but I might be at E, but like if I try to live it in, if I'm trying to like on these videos, trying to front like I got money, borrowing somebody else's car, I'm gonna miss all the lessons in between, and I'm just trying to live. So I don't mind eating shit right now either, but it's just that push, man. I wake up, I put it on Instagram or sometimes Instagram, Snapchat, and you'll see what it takes.
Well, the other day, we're talking about changing up our exercising and our diet. We just bought a shit ton of. We're trying to go vegan. I know that you did. If not,
I'm on and off.
I'm
on and off. It's expensive.
It's fucking it's challenge is what it is.
No,
it is expensive.
Nothing's a challenge. Nothing's hard. It's all work. Like so, my coach taught this in me.
Nothing's hard when you're Nightmare. That's what
no, it can't be hard. Life is hard. You wake up and sometimes just getting out of bed is hard, man. You're always tired. You always got some shit to do when you just want to chill. Nothing's hard. It's just a matter of doing it. Getting faith. Like, man, if we could share what's coming up, we would, but we can't. But we've been working for it. It's just work. So if you want to be vegan, why do you want to be vegan? Okay, I want to be vegan because for me, it forced me to get everything my body needs.
Well, I'm reading this other book right now, the Get Your Shit Together, I think is what it is. I think it's the title of the book.
That's a great title.
It talks about, a lot of people are like, I don't even know where to begin. And that's not a valid excuse because you start by making a goal. You make that goal and that's where you begin.
Wait, how the fuck don't they know how to... okay, well...
Just with anything, when
people
are...
so overwhelmed with everything, like, I don't even know where to even start to begin this test.
I had an advantage, though. And I'll talk after Kenny.
I was going to say, because people like to make excuses.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, even when I talk about, oh man, with the kid and everything, at the end of the day, it's still an excuse.
Right.
Because I know I've had plenty of moments where when you can push yourself past that limit and you're like, man, I'm drained. And you'll say, you know what? Fuck whether I'm drained, I'm going to do it anyway.
Yep.
So there's always a way to accomplish those things and make those happen. You just have to quit telling yourself, well, I'm not doing it because of this, or I'm going to wait for this perfect storm of things to go right in my life, and then I can start that.
Yeah. I mean, when you're paying attention, things are usually going the way they need to be going.
Right.
Yeah.
Going back to what you're saying about how, like,
I like that.
You can literally do whatever you want to do, and it's just people telling you that you can't.
And they're hoes. Anybody who doesn't get to where they want, they're fucking bitch, period.
Period. That'll be the title of the episode.
Period.
He and I were talking not too long ago because we both just hit a point where we were like, we needed to analyze. We needed to be like, all right, shit's not working for us. It's time to make great changes. You know, what do we need to do? And I told him, I said, you know, if somebody asks me what I want to do with the rest of my life, people want to be astronauts, do this, do that. And I told him, I said, honestly, the only thing I want to do is this right here. Just bullshit around with you for the rest of my life. Best friend, just fuck around. And we kind of, I don't know, we just thought on that. And we're like, you know what? We can't. We can't just bullshit around for the rest of our life.
This is the process.
Yeah.
This is it. This is bullshit.
And you can make money. Like, that's the thing. There is a market for the, especially now, everybody wants to do a podcast. Like, you were in a time where it needs to happen.
Was this a pep talk? Because it just took a turn.
It did. It did. No, but it's true, though. Like, honestly, I think now, especially because I am getting to where I want to be. Like, I never thought I'd have a fucking bachelor's degree. I never thought I would even get accepted to university, and I did it. That was a lifelong goal.
Yeah, I had no idea about the PhD thing, man.
I'm gonna get that shit, and we may never use it because we, you know, what's going on with the music now? Like, what's going on right now? I might just have that shit. Just say I did that shit. And with boxing, I'm still in boxing. I've been training almost 13 years now. And you know, man, it's just there's no fucking excuse. You don't know where to start. First off, shut the fuck up. And don't put negativity out the second you speak towards your dreams or your goals or whatever. Think before you talk. Like everybody, like you said, reality is a result of your intention and what you are paying attention to. Period. And the human mind is strong, man. So you want to bullshit around? This is the process. We want to make music. We're going through the process. I've been going through the process. You want to fight? Train. There's where do you start? Okay, figure out what you want to do. Okay, boom. Where do you go from there?
Right.
That's it. And if you don't get there, you are a bitch. And it's because you didn't stay. You bitched up on yourself. You bitched up on your dream, and you can go work at Dollar General if you want to. You can go live off your bitch or you can be a cow. You can never realize who you are. But wellness, that's a part of achieving your dream too. Like, what the fuck? Did you really make it if you have $1 billion but you got titties?
Well, I mean, that's what I realized with you guys is that, like, if I didn't have my wellness, you know, like if I didn't start taking care of some things that needed to be taken care of, we collectively were never going to move forward.
Yeah.
You know, like we had a lot of, you know, shit going, but like there's no way for that to ever be as good as it could have been if I did step away and start taking care of myself a little better, you know, like financially and everything. And like, I know a goal from, I mean, we want to be doing the movies, we want to be doing shit like that. And kind of, this is a stepping stone towards that. Yeah. And I know, and I've also realized, especially after working with you guys, I mean, if I stopped at the level of just a music video director, I'd be all right with that. Because I love it. I love working with musicians. I loved working with you guys. I hope that I can do some shit with you guys sometime soon. That'd be dope.
Yeah, for sure.
But especially in that time that we were doing the NP stuff and shit like that always has me so inspired. Like that's like it's the times I realize that I'm surrounded by people that don't have that sort of drive, that don't want to do anything like that or aren't creative or whatever. But the moment I surround myself by people who are like-minded, like creative, like we are all striving for this goal. We are all struggling right now, and we are all creative, and like that should just. I mean, being at the Canopy Club the other night, I stayed and I watched everybody. You know, I watched everybody perform. It was just we were the only comedians there in a sea of musicians, and I loved it because I mean that in and of itself is a challenge. You know, we can go to the comedy open mics and we'll just be shitty around other comedians, but he made the point that like that audience is there to laugh. They are there to. That's not what the other audience is there for, and I think that's more of a challenge. You know, I think that's a better reason to do Canopy open mic.
Yeah, no, that is a good point, and you know what? It's the same thing with music. It's the same aspect of just because it's musicians there doesn't mean they're going to want to hear us.
Right.
We go up there so we can get our practice. We are selfish and self-centered, and our goal for open mic. And but what if you're good enough to be paid attention to? So same. It don't matter what it is. It's all crowd manipulation. It's all, and then it's like. Laughing isn't something that you do naturally. It's something that you're made to laugh. Right. So if you're funny enough to make somebody laugh, then you gain my attention, you gain my respect. And then if I like you and I say, man, this guy named Chase Todd was at the music open mics. He got up there and like made me fucking roll over laughing. Like, check this guy out. Then it spills over to him. Mm-hmm. Next thing you know, you got like a little reputation, and it's just all crowd manipulation. It's all instinctual. It's mental, man. It's mental.
Yeah. You got questions for these guys?
Do I have questions?
Does he ever?
I don't think so. I really don't.
Is there anything you guys want to talk about with your music, with anything that's going on? You guys want to?
Are you ready for my top 5 today?
Well, we're not there yet. We're not there yet.
We I've been active with music for a fucking long time now. This is the most patient we've ever been with our music. I've ever been with my music. He's been very patient just in general. We have a Grammy-nominated producer mastering our music. We have other producers that are helping us too. We got some like big shit coming, and we've been making our best music. I sent you the intro, which you really enjoyed.
Yeah, that was pretty dope. I always, because as soon as it ended, I told him, I said, I love it when John closes out a track. It has such a good, when y'all did Beach Day, I fucking love the way you close that out.
Yeah.
I love it. You cheated and you caught me, or I cheated and you caught me, fuck it, and then just the ocean waves.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, it was his idea for the Southern Pause. It was my idea for the waves, obviously Beach Day. And, so we've been like really patient just with like the sound. We record the track, we'll listen to it a week later and be like, okay, what needs to change? So like when we release this, with the stuff that is about to happen, it's gotta be we're not so perfect that it will never come out, and we're just trying to fix every imperfection, but we're just trying to make sure it's well-rounded. So we're really excited about that. There's no date on it, but soon, definitely before the year ends, and when this comes out, like,
I know I'm excited.
It's not even just local, it's bigger than that now. Like it's something's about to happen.
Good.
Yeah.
I had some sort of question for you.
It's all good, man.
I need to do is I need to share that, because you're a funny motherfucker too. I need to
look up the Side Bitch Whisperer on Snapchat, or I think it's my snap. That's my name on there, my handle or whatever. But I'm God Bitch 25 is the Snapchat name that you can find me in. I don't have a Facebook right now. My Instagram is private. We're actually gonna make Instagram for our collective, just so like we can post just strictly music shit. Because my Instagram, my personal shit, I'm gonna keep personal.
As you might want to.
As I have to. So
if you ever have a PR team, they're gonna be really happy.
So I don't get sued, or somebody's gonna be like, "This nigga's crazy."
I told him that. I was like, "Man, people." I'm like, the moment we blow, people will go back and look at all this shit. I'm like, that's gonna be it. It's gonna be over.
What's funny is when we work together, a lot of the funny shit is like you sometimes get upset. You'd be like, man, this is like you're putting me in this goofy light, and it's like, man, you're fucking goofy. Like, what do you want from me? I got all this goofy ass footage of you. We put together that.
Wait, what was the thing that? So we
did the freestyle fuck around.
It was something in the Beebs in the Trap one.
When we were filming?
Alex kept saying it, but I would say it the wrong way, and I would just like die laughing. It's like 20 degrees outside.
We went on a fucking tangent that day. It was something about life sentences. We were talking about life sentences. Fucking, I don't know. It was a whole fucking... We're not going to sit here and recreate the jokes that we told, but...
Why?
Because we don't have time to share.
It was like one, he had like...
Nothing's impossible.
He would say something. Something, and then I would say like I would sexualize the entire verse because like the beat is playing or the song is playing, and we're just like rapping. So our mouths match
like,
the word.
Honey's, something, bunnies. Like,
no, but I would just say something, but we were wasting the whole time too.
Because it was all going to be dubbed over, so you're just saying dumb shit. And I've gone back and I've rewatched those videos and I'll catch things that I didn't catch before, and I'm like, these dumb motherfuckers, like. But the freestyle fuck around, I'll probably have some of my favorite Nightmare verses ever.
I have no idea what I was saying.
Oh, some dumb shit.
No, honestly, this man, he comes up with some dope shit. When he don't even be trying, he don't even be realizing it. Like, I've had a couple of our songs, I've had to stop and like, we'll just be freestyling. I'm like, bro, no, stop. That's the hook. And he's like, no. I'm like, nigga, that's the hook. And like, he doesn't even realize it.
I told him like so many times, like when we're doing this, like I'm just so into whatever, like we're going back and forth on, that I'm trying to keep whatever's next in my head, that like I don't hear what the fuck he's saying to me.
A lot of singers that go unnoticed.
A lot of singers that go unnoticed, but I do everything. I do the editing. I do all that shit. So I miss it then. So when I'm in there editing, all of a sudden I hear him say something I did not fucking hear him say before. Like, that's hilarious. Like, and that's how it was editing the shit with you guys, and that's why I put if you haven't seen that video, I'm gonna send that to you.
Send it to him.
Because
it's fucking ridiculous.
There's a few things that you're just talking about how you fucking suck at freestyling, and the whole time you're just dicking off. I know. I feel like I'm always broke. Because I am. Fucking, I lost it, dude. I absolutely lost it. One of my favorite things you say in that, it was one of those things that I caught after the fact. You saying something, and then, like, offhandedly, right after you go, that's domestic violence. And I heard that when I was editing, and I about pissed.
Because you're talking about women or something like that.
I was just, I mean, you were just like, just rapping about dumb shit, and then, like, you ended it on that's domestic violence, and I lost my fucking.
I always have to stop, like, bro, you do not realize when you on gold.
I don't. I just be saying shit, so.
Hell yeah.
Whatever comes up first.
Yeah.
That's how I feel like with jokes. Like, for me, it's hard for me to just, like, write something down, but, like, if I'm just in conversation, and they just flow, like, just jokes just keep running.
You have some comedy fucking gold on here. Like,
I'm always wondering. So I want to ask y'all, how does that work out as far as writing jokes? Because, like, I feel like
it's the biggest challenge for me right now. I have, like, a couple of jokes up there that I've been trying to get down, because, like, I'll tell stories, and, you know, people will always laugh, and people will like, you should do stand-up, you should do stand-up. I'm like, I hear what you're saying, but when it comes time for me to sit down, I'm like, okay, time to be funny. Like,
because, like, I feel like I'm fucking hilarious. Like, I could sit somebody down and have you laugh all day.
Yes.
And then I was like, I don't know if I could ever write a joke, though. I was like, how does that even work?
Well,
like, with the punchline and anything like that, like, how would I get, like, 2 minutes to tell, like, a short joke and then to punch it off?
Because we're better with the stories, is what it is. Like, this kind of long-form humor works better for us, you know? Like, whereas we got 8 minutes on an open mic stage to kind of get somewhere with it.
Or even, like, with, like, skits and stuff, it's easier to break that down through story and then just tell the jokes throughout it.
We've been working on some sketch comedy stuff, and it's just like, that's another one of those bravery things, too, where it's just like, some weird shit. But it's like, you sit down and watch sketch comedy, most of it's weird shit. Like, it's pretty bizarre, but, like, that's where those punchlines come in. But what you're saying about, writing the jokes, like, we are better at telling the stories, and, like, I wrote some stuff down too, but there's stories that I've already told, like, to him. So now you got to figure out how to take this story and deliver it as a joke, and that's what gives, because nobody wants to listen to you tell a fucking story on stage. So it's just like, just make me fucking laugh. It's like, I got 8 minutes. I'm gonna take 7 and get to that punchline at the very end.
Yeah, but that's the thing that differentiates you from everybody else. Is like everybody wants or whatever, you know, they want that joke now. Yeah, or you know, that shit is, first off, that shit is played out and it's corny. But that could be what stands you out. Like, what if, man, this guy's fucking hilarious. Listen to the story, and it might take us an hour and a half. What, we've been in there over an hour. That may be how long it takes to build to something.
Whiplash had the shortest episode last week.
Really?
Yeah. So this will be the longest. So it'll be perfect.
Well, I hope you motherfuckers are entertained, and you know, by motherfuckers I meant them.
Yeah, those motherfuckers. We're entertainment motherfuckers on here too, for sure.
But
I had a blast.
I think, man, motherfuckers don't love you, man.
Well, I know, Phillip. I mean, do you, like, so some of these jokes you got any stories for these guys?
See, like, it's the being put on the spot where it's like, I'm sure I can find. I'm sure I have plenty of funny stories to tell, but, like, just like, tell a funny story? I think so.
I'm telling you that I've never felt more represented than that scene in Finding Nemo, where they're like, "Oh, you're a clownfish? Like, tell a joke."
Yeah,
it's just like, fuck.
It's the same thing with rapping. It's like, "Oh, you're a rapper, freestyle." And I'm like,
I hate when people do that.
It's what I do, but it's not what I do.
Somebody said that the other day. Somebody said that to us.
Freestyle.
The last time we brought this up, they were like, "Oh yeah, they do the same thing to rappers." So, you gonna freestyle for us on the show? You are a rapper.
He'll freestyle once I tell a funny story.
Really?
Fair trade off.
Right.
What can I say?
Put on the spot, neither do I. So yeah, I feel like it'd be a fair trade off. Let's see. 26 years. What's one funny story I can think of?
Well, I can think of at least the most recent one. You had your car stolen.
Yeah.
That's the point you're gonna go for.
That was the punchline.
I did.
That was the punchline. I mean,
I didn't have a run with that.
It's more so about it. Phil's a really nice guy.
I am. I guess so. I guess what happened. I'm not gonna get into the whole story just because everyone's watching this, but essentially, you know, I went down to help someone, and then in turn, eventually got my car stolen. And so I ended up coming back. Well, Chase came and picked me up, whatever. And then I apologized to the person who stole my car or whatever. And then my mom calls me. She's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" She's like, "Why are you apologizing?" I'm like, "Shit, man, I just feel bad, you know. I put her in this situation too." So it's just like,
wait, she stole your car?
yeah, no, I apologize.
That's like
for her stealing it.
Man, if you had to steal a car, you must go in tough times. I'm so sorry.
He's a nice guy.
That must be the best pussy you've ever had.
He's like, how about this? I'll let you get Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Did you at least hit?
No, I didn't see. That's the worst part.
Is she still in town?
Oh, this is in a different
This is a
state.
whole different state. I was stranded.
She's
for
still
a couple
alive?
days.
She owes you some pussy. That's the least she can
If
do.
she's hearing this,
It's handy. Bitch, you
Hear
owe.
this.
Give him some pussy.
Or at
get
least
some
give him
head.
the car back.
shit.
These
I mean,
bitches.
shit.
Oh, she still got the car too?
I don't know. We haven't found it in like a month.
God damn.
Yeah. Yep. That's
What state?
Tennessee.
That's not that far.
No, we're good. Hey, call up Alex.
They call Alex, and is she describe her? Shit, man.
Hey,
How did she get the car keys?
He said he ain't getting
Logistics, we ain't getting into
Oh, we're not getting into that. We're not getting into
So,
that.
all right. So
I'll
Phil
tell you
gave
guys
us,
off camera.
yeah, Phil gave us the story, so you know what that means.
Phil's got the prospect of some pussy.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think that's what he meant.
That's not what I meant.
That's what I was thinking.
That was his freestyle.
Now it's time for your freestyle.
You know what a freestyle? Like, I'm not a good freestyler. I can.
Well,
I know, but I love
Well,
it.
neither was that story. The story wasn't top notch.
I mean, it's either you or Kenny's gonna have to step up to the plate.
I'm just gonna give off some of his lyrics, so it don't matter.
Word, whatever works.
What? You just gonna rap my lyrics?
Yeah.
Like, if you could rap my lyrics, which ones would you rap?
Which one I go for?
The one where I say I'm a mix in betwixt niggers and sticks.
No, I don't think that's what I go
I
for.
personally like. I wish I could chug constant beers. I mean, consistent beers.
Is that what I said?
You said that in one of your freestyles.
Oh, shit.
What was
I
it?
don't know why I said
I'm taking
beers.
this like Chuck Beers forever.
I'll be having to stop him sometimes. I just stop him on the line. Well, it was like a week or so ago.
Oh, we're talking about Islam, were we?
Yeah, he put this line. I was like, bro, you can't put.
I wonder if I still here. Let me see if I have it because I think I saved it just in case. Nah, that's a.
It was that was some radical shit, and I was like,
It was good. That was gonna be good.
Yeah, it was some shit that you couldn't put in the song.
Right. There's a lot of that with John. I think.
Yeah.
He made a fucking song called "I Like a Bitch with Low Self-Esteem."
That was the title of the song.
Yeah, I like a bitch. And it's raw as fuck too. I like a girl with no self-esteem. And then when I like a bitch that don't complain. Yeah, you know I'm cheating, but these others ain't the same. All I want to give you is a moment. Wait, no, hold on. Wait.
Gotta check the lyric.
Well, I wish I had some more of your like.
Yeah, I like a. Wait, what were you saying? I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say I wish I had more of your newer stuff to put out there to people, but I'm just gonna have to share your old stuff.
Oh, that intro's coming. No, don't share the old shit. That old shit is whack.
You can find the old shit and the links at the bottom of the.
God damn it. No, I had one, man. It was. I had to check one out, but I was like, I can't say that. Cause we'll
I'm gonna let you
around.
look for that. I'm gonna take my leave now.
I think that's it.
Are you taking a leave? Oh, you mean the bathroom? I'm like, where's he going? Like,
Just walk out the front door, just like walking down.
I was like, I thought this was his place, and he's leaving.
So I'll see you all day. Just drives off.
Lock up
the
the
door.
door.
So, John, I got a present for you.
What the fuck is that?
Well, you know, you work
Oh,
so hard. I thank you for being our first guest on the show.
I know what this is.
I made these for you.
Thank you. Actually, you did.
It's almost 100 copies of your own music.
Oh shit!
To do whatever you please with, to get them the fuck out of my house.
I'll put it
You're
in
gonna
my
throw them down the street. Like, here, you see it?
That's honestly, that was my original plan, and then
No.
just start throwing them out. The
Here you go. Here you go. It's like this.
Everyone gets.
And
to see
those
it.
ones on top that have labels on them are the only ones that are labeled. So have fun.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm sure some homeless child somewhere is gonna be very happy to not be able to play that because they don't have anyone to play it.
Right. But they'll be happy for the thought. You know,
Yeah.
it's the thought that counts. Did you find that lyric? Did you?
No, I couldn't find it, and it was like, let me think. Would they have to do with like?
What did I do with ISIS?
Don't go too far, Phil.
Alright.
Actually, I have it. I think I have it
Oh, why would you have it?
because I remember I had sent it to Jake to see
Yeah, you did.
if he thought that it would pass, and he too was like, "No, you can't put that shit in the sun."
So while he's out of the room, at the end of every episode we do Phil's top 5. I have not come up with a top 5 for this episode, so what do you want Phil to give us top 5 on?
Top 5 baddest bitches ever.
I found it here. You ready?
Oh, you found it?
It's I don't gotta join ISIS to see that my bitch should be undercovers.
Yeah, that's it. That was it.
And I said, "You're not putting that in a goddamn song."
I thought it was genius. So I was like so happy I made it because I had writer's block about something.
Well, I'm glad I can live on, you know. It's so important.
Top 5. Fuck, man. I don't like anything. Like I don't know.
You didn't like that one? Because I was down to give him that top.
No, I mean I don't like anything.
Well,
Top
it doesn't
5.
matter if you like it. It's his top 5.
Uh-oh.
Top
Yeah.
5. Oh,
He
his
gives
top
the
5.
top
I have
Top
to
5
do-
baddest bitches ever.
Phillip Hazen's top 5 baddest bitches
Why
ever.
do I have to do this? How do you always
Because
do
it's
this?
your top 5.
It's your top 5. It's
top
Phillip
5
Hazen's
baddest
top.
bitches. So like,
What is the
Top 5.
what are the like requirements? Like what counts
His
as,
taste?
as the
Yeah.
baddest bitch? Like in bad bitch terminology, like what would you consider?
That's hard
well,
because I do it.
that's based on the person. Which
Yeah,
is,
I mean,
I
that's
do a
that's
scale.
also
Of,
subjective.
for sure, it's like this
That's
bitch is a 10. I do a scale of 1 to 30 because 10 is too close to 6 and 6 is too close to 4. So like if like no 1 through 10 is ugly ass ugly to fine ass
Why
ugly.
don't you just do 1 to 100 then?
No, 20 through 10 through 20 is
You hit the
ugly ass eye looking bitch to fine ass eye looking bitch, and then you have from 20 to 30 is ugly ass fine bitch to fine
You
ass
got a
fine
different
bitch.
top 5 because this just got really difficult.
No, yeah, that's my personal thing.
specifications on.
That's my personal thing. Like
That's
for
just your
instance,
scale. That's your.
yeah.
He goes on the 30-point scale.
No such thing as
It
a
didn't
30.
make sense to me.
Ain't no
but I'll
she can be a
rewatch
10.
it
That's
again.
a
She can be a
fine,
10, but
that's
that
a
ain't
fine
a
ass
good
ugly bitch. That's like the bitch with pancake titties that clean the room.
Pancake
Like,
titties.
hello, like you when you're at the hotel and the old bitch like you know you see it because we guys man we ain't shit and it's just like I will fuck her but she like you never seen an ugly bitch.
All right.
You never seen an ugly bitch you fuck.
We've all seen them.
That's a time.
I heard some people call them mopeds. They're fun to ride till your friends find out.
There you go. She might have been doable, but she was ugly. So she was
Right.
fine.
It also depends on your sobriety level as well. Sometimes, you know, doing shit makes other people seem more attractive, like drinking or.
Yeah, you just
whatever.
horny, man.
I had a
You just
real
want
quick question. I meant to ask y'all when I first came in. What was with those potatoes outside?
There are potatoes outside.
Yeah, and one of them was a prostitute.
What?
Yeah, it had a sticker on it that said Idaho.
Did you just spend the whole time thinking about this?
The whole time we've been here for a minute now.
That was good. That was good.
I was like, I'm about to throw that shit in.
I'm about to. That's. I'm inspired. I know how we're definitely doing the
That was
7-minute
fucking
build
fun.
up with the 1 minute punchline. That's stand up.
What's up with all the big?
All right, Phil. So, Phillip Hazen's top 5 baddest bitches on an average day.
Ever.
Just on an average, with no
Yeah, whoever.
specifications, just your top 5.
But the
baddest
number
bitches.
one's got to be the baddest bitch ever
ever.
Ever.
in your eyes at least.
In my eyes, is. Oh my god. I hate these top 5s.
I know,
I
I
can't
fucking
wait
love
to a
doing this to
point
you.
where I'd never do them again, but I feel like it'll never happen. If we do blow up,
That's
everyone's
your
going to
thing.
keep asking.
I know. If we blow up, people are gonna love you.
It's not, it wasn't even supposed to be my
It's not
thing.
his thing.
He
It's
thought
my
of it.
thing.
Like,
I put
do
it.
it.
You see how you like pressure them into doing this?
I sprung it on him the first episode, and I've done it every
Yeah,
episode.
did
I did it on the radio
live on the
station.
radio, all of it. It doesn't matter. Let's see. Top 5 baddest bitches, but the number one has to be the baddest bitch. So, I feel like I should just get the baddest out of the way, but I don't know who it is. There's a lot of bad bitches out there.
There's a lot.
Oh, shit. I hate this. I absolutely hate it. This is terrible.
Because I wouldn't even know how to answer it. There's too many bad bitches.
Too many bad. I wish I could say that, but that doesn't suffice for people's top 5. They want to hear what my top 5 is. So we'll say. Oh,
Subject to change. Top
Subject
5
to
baddest
change.
bitches. Subject.
As
to
How about
change.
this? Let's narrow it down. Who are your top 5 baddest bitches of Hispanic descent under the height of 5'7" with no.
Oh, God. I have to just pull up everyone's height.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm like, nah, she's 5'8".
Becky
She don't
G.
count.
She's like 5'4" and shit.
Who the fuck
You can
is
put the
Becky G?
choose a Pink Ranger and the Power Ranger.
I knew somebody was talking about Becky G.
You can
just
put her in
the
your
other day.
fucking, you can put her in your pocket. She's so small. It's like, come on. I'm gonna kidnap, you know.
oh, jeez.
I thought her name was Kimberly.
She's bad enough to kidnap.
Damn.
Is that bad? That was bad.
We're not cutting that out either.
This is the shit I'm talking about. This is the shit people are missing out on Facebook.
You're not gonna put that? Oh yeah.
The problem is, like,
This is the shit that's we don't
How,
have.
there-
So we
no,
don't
no.
go to
The
jail.
top 5 girls that are sexy enough for you to kidnap.
That's much better.
I'll do that one. I'll do that
I'll do that one.
That's
That's
safer.
safer.
Phil Payson's top 5 sexiest girls that he would kidnap.
one.
He's like, all right, you got a list in my room.
You should have said me in the
Oh,
first place.
Yeah, I know. I didn't think about it though.
Alright, got the band running. So let's see. We got, oh man, I see what was really gonna suck is if we do blow up and then all these fucking
Yeah, we never work with these
guys.
guys.
We're like, whoa.
Like, can we get you on the show? No, I heard what you said.
Say, now check the van for check the lot for the van. Like there's a van out there.
Oh man, alright, so top 5 bitches I kidnap. Let's see. I'll probably do Ariana Grande.
Okay.
We'll do J-Lo, Rihanna.
She's still bad.
2, 3.
We'll do Cardi B just for the sake of it.
Really, Cardi B?
Yeah.
Seems like she put up a fight.
Well, I'm sure all of them will put up a
Yeah,
fight,
for
but-
sure, but I just think Cardi B is going to give you the most
Now you
trouble.
can put Ariana.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure J-Lo does like kickboxing and shit.
Oh, yeah, no,
J-Lo's
J-Lo's
gonna cry my guy in
Yeah,
that one movie.
There won't be a struggle. J-Lo's just going to get away. Cardi B's going to put up a fight. I mean,
But now I gotta think of one more. Who would I want to kidnap? Who's a bad
more
bitch
than
that-
anybody. Who's the baddest bitch that you want in your van?
There's gotta be one that you
Yesterday.
just always had a crush on.
Yesterday. Since. Oh no. See, Ariana Grande was my top 1. She was my number 1.
So
So
she was the.
She was.
Because that's the easy one to get.
Exactly.
That's, you just snap, you pick
You
up
just-
like
yeah.
so.
Shit.
I'm your driver. You got a fake mustache on and shit.
They never find you. The mustache. I can't see. That just changes everything.
One more.
I'm about to think how this one.
Salma Hayek, Penelope Cruz.
See, Penelope
You
Cruz
still roll with the Hispanic theme, I see.
Well, I mean,
Great.
But they
are,
would be in
they
the
are
top
great.
5 for sure.
They are great for sure.
The bitch that played, what's his name? Goku's wife on Dragon Ball. Shitty movie, terrible movie.
Can't say I've seen it.
Like the live action Dragon Ball?
Yeah, it was awful.
It was awful.
You know what?
That
I
was
did
the
not
one you
watch
watch
it.
once and you pretend that it never even happened.
I don't know what was worse.
I'm trying to think of like a.
What was worse, the Holocaust or the
Wow.
Dragon Ball or the live action version?
Wow.
What's all worse, the slave trade or?
Well, I missed the Holocaust, so
We didn't miss a slave. We still got the after effects of the slave trade.
so I guess over the Holocaust, I'm gonna go with the Dragon Ball.
You had to
Worse.
choose one.
I think it's got to feel the same.
Number 5, Phil. What's number 5?
They're not gonna put this episode out there. Like, yeah, we can't. We gotta redo that.
I'm about to say Penelope Cruz just to get this.
Just Phil Payson's top
Christina
5.
I'll
Applegate.
revise it later because I know I'll think of something.
Ladies, if you made your name on that list, lock your doors.
Sorry, we won't be working with the interview. That's a bummer. I really wanted to. I love
Ladies, I'm
customers.
coming for all y'all. I have a top 1 million.
This is also why you can't be friends with them on Facebook. You'll find out real quick.
I mean, shit, like, what you want me to hide? The fact that, you know, whatever. I'm a guy, and, you know, before we head out, man, this is the weirdest thing that it's also about not being able to be who you are. Like, the funny thing is, so I worked at a country club, and you come in with your fucking dry cleaners, your shirt, you know, everything's fresh pressed, and the couples act like they don't fuck. And they don't, like, you know, sticking your middle finger in a girl's ass. Like, it's just... Like you
Fuck, I missed that first part. All I heard was singing middle finger in a girl's ass and they don't.
I mean, it's just like they act like they don't like to be down and dirty, but they want to be that in private. And I always thought that was the weirdest thing because we'll judge you. We'll do the same shit as you, but judge you because I'm comfortable with who I am. And it's like, man, yeah, bitch, get in the trunk. The fuck. And then I'll say it in a way to where they look forward to it. Bitch, get in the car.
They're like, you know what? They got one foot in the trunk.
It's like, oh,
You know, it is a spacious trunk.
Wow, this is a spacious trunk.
It's kind of comfortable. You put a pillow in there. So
Right, yeah. it's like you're not just gonna.
He didn't tie me up.
You treat him well. You know, like
I just
can't
want
bitch about it too much.
Hey, Cosby, you into the trunk?
No, so weird thing because like so we're talking about that. Obviously, we're joking, but like it's almost like that's too. We can't say that. It's like shut the fuck up. Like that's why I didn't get mad when Kodak Black was talking about Nipsey Hussle's. So Nipsey Hussle passed away, and then he said, "I'll give it a year." I'm like, everybody's singing that. Like, everybody, all right, bitch, you done crying yet? Like, and not all due respect to Nipsey, and I'm saying this like because we're in a living room having a conversation. Obviously, we want to be respectful in real life.
I can't say enough. I do not condone the things that he said.
Fuck that shit.
Everybody involved today.
Everybody got mad, and I'm like, come on, man, he just passed away yesterday, and now you talking crazy. Like, I get that part, but like, people were singing that shit, and you have some real niggas that was on there saying, you know, are you done crying yet? Like, okay, because we're fucking terrible people. We're men. We're guys. Men are terrible. So we. I
bet some, but even in that regard, I think women could be just as terrible.
Well, that was his friends though that were recording him say that shit. So like he was just talking with his friends. I mean, you can't have you can't talk like that's the worst thing. You can't because
you think, I mean,
in public, like it's controversial because we're on camera saying it. But if we were just in here, we laugh and nobody would say anything. But now it's out there.
I think it's the same thing with like people getting in trouble like years later for things like this. Yeah. Like the things you're talking about, like, oh, I get in trouble for the shit that I post, or whatever. It's like because people are doing stuff they don't even think about it. And then years later, other people want to dig it up. It's like,
I keep thinking.
I just want to say, fuck you now.
Yeah, right. Let's get this out of the way. We'll air out all our dirty laundry.
And just real quick, I'm gonna revise my fifth one to a Bella Danger and not.
A Bella Danger.
What porn star?
Can we all get fucked by her
That should
as a
be
sponsor?
the easiest one to get.
A Bella Danger is sponsor this podcast.
I mean, I didn't want to name all 5 porn stars. I feel like that's just lame.
No, bro, that's what you want.
That would have been fun.
It's a new day.
Well, I guess next time we'll
top
do
5 porn stars. Yeah.
Who's the bitch almost got beat up by the
He
War
wouldn't
Machine?
even have to think about it. He's got the list of the porn stars.
What's the porn star that got beat by a War Machine?
Fucking Don Cheadle? Is that what you're talking about?
No, like the porn star. There was an MMA fighter, the War Machine.
Oh.
He legally changed his name to War Machine.
You gotta remember, I'm a geek. The comic book shit. I'm thinking War Machine.
As soon as I get in the car, I'm like,
I don't know
Don
Don Cheadle beat anybody.
No,
I know you're talking about too.
I don't.
She hasn't. I don't think she's
Chrissy
done anything
Mack.
since. Yep, that's her.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think she's done anything since.
Well, she got beat after that. Like, that when the relationship ended, he took her fucking confidence.
There's a wrench in things.
Yeah. And now he's doing like life in prison or something. Getting fucked by everybody.
You know, I think about that shit all the time. Like we did these videos back in high school. We were gonna do this series called "Phillip Chasing a Job," and the videos are still out there of the original like trailers that we made. There was a restricted one and a normal one because we were in high school, and one of them, like, I know there's a few jokes in there that, like, someday we're going to make it and they're going to find this and be like, oh, well, look at what he says here. And then I'm like,
I suck my dick.
Right, you're talking about fucking a dude's wife and daughter. I'm talking about, well, I was talking about the same thing. I said,
Obama.
I believe I had one of the lines in there.
What can we say that can, like, ruin our future?
Right
now. Wrap this up like a magnum.
I wanna leave off on one note before we wrap this up. To go back earlier into the show when we were actually saying things other than slapping bitches. One thing I want to say, something that meant a lot to me, something that really pushed me, and hopefully anybody out there can find inspiration in it. When I talked to my best friend about telling him, I want to go full in with the rapping thing, and he told me something that will stick with me for the rest of my life. He said that if you tell somebody what your dream is and they don't think it's crazy, you're not dreaming big enough. So take that with you. Always dream big. Don't sell yourself short.
That's good shit.
I'm going to piggyback off that. No, I'm not going to ruin that. Go ahead.
I ain't going to ruin that.
I thought we were going to end on that note, so I don't know why.
I want the whole world to suck my dick.
And that's a wrap.
Well, guys, PCP, Phil and Chase podcast. We got Nightmare.
I didn't even think
we got Kenny.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for being here, you guys. Do you have a name for the collective, or is just
we're thinking of something, but like we didn't want to.
We'll keep everyone up to date.
It's not a group. Like I wanted to be another group that I was in, but
well, you know, like I said, we'll keep shit up there. We'd love to have you guys back. This was great, our first guest. So
I thought it was a lot of fun.
yeah,
we'll bring in alcohol next time. So if you thought the conversation kind of
right.
just wait,
We're gonna go Joe Rogan on their ass. We'll get 3-4 hour fucking thing going.
let's do it.
Yeah,
Because we got shit we can
You
talk
can
about.
keep talking.
Oh yeah, we
I could get my top 5
porn stars. We
But
can
we'll save it for next week.
top 5 bitches that have been slapped by Nightmare. That's well, all right, fellas. A blessed Woovember to you both.
Blessed
I hope you find
May the Wu-Tang bless you.
bless us all in wellness.
And if you're watching this and we famous already,
Who's done?
I apologize.
Should get my car
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, that's how I should end this. Is as the showrunner, I apologize. Just period.
We weren't prepped beforehand.
Right. I knew what I was getting myself into by inviting you specifically to the show, so I knew what I was getting. But hell yeah, man, good to see you.
Hey, good to see you, Phil. That's how you know I be fucked up out here, because like Phil's like, yeah, we met 5 times already. I'm like, oh shit.